it's a country show. Friday night and the moon is high. Time to hit the town, let the good times fly. Raise your glass, let the music play. We're gonna dance until the break of day. Feel the rhythm, let your worries bust. We're here to kick up the dust. Kick up the dust, let it fly in the air. Spin those wheels, yeah, we're going somewhere. Raise your hands, let your worries go. We're living fast and we're loving the show. Kick up the dust. I'll blaze it, and the guitars wail. Living large on a country trail. Crank it up, let the good times roll. We're riding high, we're on a roll. Raise your glass, let the music play. We're gonna dance until the break of day. Feel the rhythm, let your worries bust. We're here to kick up the dust. Kick up the dust, let it fly in the air. Spin those wheels, yeah, we're going somewhere. Raise your hands, let your worries go. We're living fast and we're loving the show. Kick up the dust. Every mile we roam, we're making memories, we're right at home. Let's turn it up, let's live it loud. We're a rowdy, proud country crowd. Kick up the dust, let it fly in the air.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channels. Bernie here. Alright, it's been a little while since I've actually done just a proper update video, probably a few weeks. Just going to let you know what's happening. So as you can see, I panned back a little bit. The section 3 is pretty much unchanged since the previous video. I think I may have, sorry, I hit the fire engine. I've redone this road and finished some chain link fencing in the back there, and I fixed down KFC. I've just got to get that sign fixed up. Oh yeah, didn't realise that rotated. And something new every day. Yeah, so I've added a little bit of scatter just in behind the shops, the town buildings. So yeah, so I'll let you know what's plans for this section. Okay, so the layout as a whole, which I already announced via post and the previous little running video, is now the Barr sub. Google Earth and the internet is a wealth of information, and for ages I was trying to decide where I could set my layout loosely. Obviously, being a small, compact layout with limited funds, there are so many big rail yards in the US, and also I love the CSX. So now with 2 CSX locomotives, the Norfolk Southern SD38-2 dummy. I looked around to see, sorry, the lighting's not the best. I think the open window's affecting it. Yeah, I did some research to sort of see where I can set it. If I was a rail fanner, what motive power would I see, what class 1 railroads or even short line railroads would I see in operation, and how could I come up with a semi-prototypical location for my shelf layout with the motor power I've got. And I came across, I might put the channel up on the screen in editing, a rail fanning guy who produces some really good informative videos, and one that I was blown away with was he did like an hour-long video about what he called last mile operations around western Chicago and northeastern Indiana. and there's CSX that operate there. There's Canadian National, Norfolk Southern have a presence in the area too. I think there's even a yard, 59th Street Yard, where Union Pacific rolls into town as well. So, and then I was trying to sort of think, well, what can I achieve in my sort of space? And I do want to have a layout with probably at least 7 industries on it. So it's predominantly the switching locomotives, so the Jeeps, or single, smaller SD locomotives, pulling short trains down essentially a short line and servicing some rail served industries. And yeah, and I came across the video. There was a Pegus yard. Now it's a tiny yard in comparison with some major rail yards in the US, obviously, but I thought I could condense it and model what would be a very small portion of the yard, have a name for this particular module, and use that as the main classification yard with probably 2 industries. I've got a point coming, a left-hand point, which is going to go just in there, and a track's going to run across to where this gondola is here, and I'll push it back as far as possible. And this is going to be a small Sims metal scrapyard, which will probably be fenced off and will hold probably only be long enough maybe to hold a 60-foot gondola. This is a 52-foot, and then in the short term, till I have a locomotive stabling area, then I've got the lead-in track there, which I can perhaps stable a locomotive to get it off one of these tracks. So obviously here I've got my runaround track. This one here, where the bulkhead flat and the 2-bay cement hoppers are, is going to be my interchange or a storage track for the yard, where there can actually be empties and loaded cars that need to be picked, and a train assembled to go down to my industrial park down here, which I'm thinking of still keep calling that Gracefield Industrial Park, which is loosely set in Gary, Indiana. Alright, so I'll just pull back from here, try not to make you guys dizzy. So that will be there, and the back track is still going to be Trinity Foods. So I'm in the process of designing a low relief factory building in the back that'll have a spot for corn syrup cars, possibly even unloading chemicals for cleaning and that involved in food preparation, and box cars down the end. If I can fit it in, even a spot for hoppers for dropping off flour and other bulk ingredients. So that's going to be Trinity Foods there. Here, I've ordered 2 extra lengths of flexi track. So just behind my railway room TV, the small shelf is going to continue behind my 32-inch TV, probably just down here somewhere towards the light switch, and that will be my staging. So At the moment I don't have a lot of freight cars. I've got a few, but as I get more and I have more choice in that, there'll be trains will be staged here. So it'll be focus, yep. This will be where trains start and then roll into Pegasus Yard to be switched out and have the locals deliver or pick up empties around the layout. And then there'll also be trains that made up pulling trains out of the interchange track there, which will be empties probably to go back to this staging or interchange track, which would be simulating where Class 1 railroad would come and collect and either take back to a major yard, or that's simulating a Class 1 railway yard. But anyway, I'm just getting the hang of operations, and not being an American, I can't see all these things firsthand, but I've come up with just a simple way of operating at the moment. So each industry has a little pocket like that's Trinity Food, and essentially if I can pull it apart inside, and you see Trinity Foods is that siding there. At the moment I have my 86-foot boxcar, the Union Pacific, there, and there's a waybill which designates the boxcar as an empty. So that's his destination, Pegasus Yard, which is modeller's license technically in the yard, but that would be pulled out and probably stored on the interchange track there, ready for its next move. And then I've written these out so then I can flip it around, and that's just a general waybill for a loaded boxcar packaging materials. So if the boxcar was in staging, or as a loaded wagon for Trinity Foods, then when I have the staging area, I will have another area for putting the car cards in staging, and so on and so forth. So I've got one for Sims Metals, and there's the card, CP Rail Gondola. I've only got one at the moment, but I'd like another one. Then I've got I've just called it yard track of the interchange yard. So I've got, see, there we go, the car cards for the 2-bay hoppers, and in the back, it's hard to get to doing this one-handed, is the bulkhead flat, which is loaded. Then I've got one for inland cement, which is obviously on module 2. Eventually there'll be like a little card bin box on the side there, and that has a waybill which essentially says that 2-bay hopper, the BNSF hopper, is, there we go, is empty, and destination is Pegasus Yard. And there's the car card. Alright, so yeah, in reality there hasn't been much actual construction. I've done a little bit of running, but I've spent a fair bit of time making these cards, etc., and formulating a reasonably realistic way of operating the layout. And of course I've got car cards here as well. So one for Gary Lumber, which has these now designated as empty. So there's a thrall car in there, which are often used for plywood. So they will need to be picked up and taken back to Pegasus Yard at some point. The centre track there is a bit of a storage or an interchange track as well, and you'll find that the auto rack is located there. At the moment, I just dropped a car card, and I do have, oh yeah, got this backtrack here. It's 2 Industries now, so we've got Dulux paints with 2 doors, and then there's Griffin's biscuits, or we call them biscuits here in New Zealand, but Griffin's cookies, so probably baked goods on there. So I've got a little pocket for, which is track number 3, 1, 2, and 3, and Griffin's is at the back, so it's a team track. There's nothing in that pocket because there's nothing in the spot at the moment. I do have an empty box car also awaiting pickup, so probably the first real operation session you'll see within the next week or so is it's going to be picking up a fair few empties and taking them into the picker's yard, but I probably won't film that until I have just finished off and extended the staging track. Alright guys, lots of little things to be working on. I've got a flashing light there and a flashing light in there which needs a 3-volt supply, so I'm working on a few electrical things like that. Once I've got a few more funds saved up, then I'll probably start ballasting Piggus Yard. But unlike previous layouts, this is going to have some rigorous testing. I've already had to wet down the track, which is glued down with PBA, white glue, and realign it a few times. I've even put some yellow, painted some tyres yellow, so that's so for when I'm switching, the cars can't go past that tyre, so there's no collapsing. So this track's going to have to be lifted up when I insert the new point there anyway, and I realised one of these tracks has got a slight yeah, it just needs to be realigned a bit. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you can kind of see what I'm trying to achieve. But yeah, just slowly and having a ball while I'm doing it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and continue to leave comments there. If you do, make them kind and put them, because I know there's many ways to operate a layout, and some people with vast amounts of money, huge layouts and that, want to do it absolutely prototypical to certain railroads. Me, this is just my small horseshoe shaped layout here in my home, and I'm just getting into the operation side of things, so I'm going to do it my way. Any kind tips you have, I'll take them on board, but yeah, I may improve things as time goes along and actually get a timetable, but for now I'm just going to test out my own system and see how it works. And at the end of the day, it's your layout. You're there to have fun. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye for now.